I can yell it.
Okay.
All right, man, we're live. So, Daniel Chamberlain, Coaching 101 podcast. We're here at the Border State Summit in beautiful Quapaw, Oklahoma, at the Downstream Casino Resort, if I'm not mistaken. I think I got all that right.
That is correct.
I'm here with, so Jason is Collier, right?
Collier.
Collier. See, I screwed it up already. Well, I don't have my neck thing on, then I looked to cheat, and you didn't have your neck thing on, and I was like, well, I guess we'll just swing the wings, and I kind of forgot to ask. Anywho, here we are. So we're here, Jason, and you've got a really cool job here being on the board for this Border Summit, the Border State Summit. But you've been in athletics already for quite some time. Most people that are watching, so it's going live to most people in Oklahoma and such, they're going to know you for your time at Jenks. And so first, I'd like an introduction for you and kind of where you've been and how that progressed to even get that job, because that's a big time job. And then we'll talk a little bit of post AD life. So,
Okay. Well, started my coaching career in Texas, Euless Trinity. I was down there for a couple years. Transitioned back to Oklahoma. I've coached at Hominy, Oklahoma. I've coached at Bishop Kelly High School there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Coached at Kellyville. Coached at Bentonville, Arkansas. So I've kind of coached all the way around. Administratively, I went into athletic directing. My first job as athletic director was at Okmulgee High School, or Okmulgee Public Schools. I was there for a year. Then Glenpool Public Schools came and hired me away, and so spent 7 years at Glenpool Public Schools as the district director of athletics, and just completed my 8th and final year as an athletic director at Jenks Public Schools. And so finished out there this spring, and now I'm transitioning into an assistant principal's role at Oneta Ridge Middle School in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. And so that's kind of a short backdrop of what I've been doing. So,
I heard you were like board announced yesterday?
Yeah. I had to fly back down there to Broken Arrow, and they officially made me official. So, yeah, I'm officially a Broken Arrow Tiger.
Well,
so
congratulations. I think, I don't know if y'all are cross-city rivals or not. I don't know how all the Tulsa suburbs deal with that. Being at Owasso for 1 year, I understood we didn't really like the Bixby Spartans. I don't know how everybody else felt about each other. I wasn't there long enough to feel the full culture of rivalries, but
I think there's a lot of competition. Everybody wants to be the best. A lot of mutual respect, but obviously when you cross the painted lines and get into the field of battle, it's no holds bar. Everybody wants to beat everybody. So I don't think it really matters rivalry or not. But I would definitely say the big five there in the Tulsa area: the Bixby, Broken Arrow, Jenks, Union, and Owasso. Definitely a lot of rivalries between all five of those guys.
Well, I think there has to be. Well, that's what happens when you win every state championship in the major sport, football. Yeah. And I realize other sports are just as important, and some people may not even follow football, but that's what we do here.
Yep.
When you win them all since – when was the last time a West Side school even won it?
I want to say like 95 or 96.
Yeah.
So
y'all had a
long time ago.
Y'all had a lock on it. So I'm sure, if you beat the Tulsa teams, you're probably going to bring home the gold ball. So it's pretty good.
Yep.
Well, so little change of plans here. You have been at some of the small schools. Hominy's not super large, right? And then you've been all the way up to being AD at Jenks, one of the bigger schools in the state. What was that transition like, especially going Okmulgee, Glenpool, and then up to Jenks?
Yeah.
I'm sure you're wearing the same hat, but it don't fit the same, right? You've got a lot of additional duties and a lot of other things under your umbrella of influence. So kind of talk through that. Like, how was that different?
So at the smaller schools, you're more hands-on, you're more intimate. Obviously, you got a smaller coaching staff, so you know all of your coaches intimately. You spend a lot of time together. You're evaluating 20, 30 coaches, and it's a close-knit community. The duties aren't necessarily different between Class A and 6A. You still got the same responsibilities, same duties, same Friday night plans and game day plans that you have to execute. So there's not much difference there. The only difference is it's just on a larger scale. So as you transition up, it just gets bigger and bigger, and the events become bigger and bigger and more prominent. And obviously a Friday night in Jenks looks a lot different than a Friday night in Okmulgee.
Right.
And not taking anything away from my Okmulgee County people down there, some of the greatest people, salt of the earth people there. But it's just different. You got 1,000 fans versus 30,000 fans.
Yeah.
So. It's a lot of the same. I think the small school kind of helped shape and guide my leadership style, just because I am a servant leader, and so I don't ever ask anybody to do anything I wouldn't have done or wouldn't do. So just tried to lead by example, and that just matriculated up. I mean, everybody I worked with at Jenks, we're all on board, row the boat in the same direction, man. Just get in, get your hands dirty, do what we had to do. If we had to cut the grass, we cut the grass. I mean, you just got to do what you got to do to make the event successful and take pride in what you do. And so it's no different between 6A with 35,000 or 3,500 students or Okmulgee with 300 students.
Right.
So it's the same.
Well, I love that answer, because I think some guys get, I don't want to say belittled, but some people think that if you're a small school coach, well, that's not the same, or you know what I mean? But really, I mean, you have less resources and you have to go win the same game on Friday night, you know what I mean? So
That's it.
Maybe even a harder job, but it's
Yeah.
definitely not a lesser job.
Yeah. No, I mean, like you hit the nail on the head. If you step out on a field on Friday night, the expectation is from your community, you win. It doesn't matter if you're playing 8-man football or Class 6A Division I football. You're expected to win. So, and you again hit the nail on the head with the limited resources. So you're trying to do the exact same with less. At the smaller schools. So, I think that really laid the groundwork for me as an athletic director, because we were able to accomplish a lot, and there wasn't a lot required to accomplish what we needed to accomplish. Now, the benefit of having a larger fund balance, if you will, is the amount of money you can turn back on the kids, and that's the greatest difference. Is just at Jenks, you got a football booster club that raises $500,000, and all that money goes directly to the kids.
Right.
At Okmulgee, you may have a booster club that raises $5,000, but it's all going directly to the kids. So it's just different in proportionality in what you can do. And Jenks is different, man. It's a different place. The success of that school and that community is just that. It's the community. It's the support you get from the parents, from the teachers, the coaches, the administrators. Everybody has the same drive and the same passion and the same vision for excellence. So it's refreshing and it's fun. So
I did get to spend a year up at Owasso with the Rams, and Coach Duffield was. You talked about the intimacy portion, right? If you're a smaller school, you're much more intimate with your coaches, and you know them all, and shoot, you could probably know their parents' names and their wives' names and their kids' names, and that's probably my only regret is that Owasso was so big. Like, I couldn't have that, because Duff seemed like an amazing human being, a great guy, and I wish I would have had more time. Honestly, just go sit in his office and kind of chew the fat. The same with most of the coaches there. Bill Blankenship was there at the time. Obviously, he's came back now, and but that was his final year before the retirement. AG being there and as the DC, and just all those guys in the football staff I didn't even get to spend enough time with. It's just such a big place. We all have so much stuff to do, so many responsibilities. But, so, if you're at a small school, maybe you count your blessings, because if it isn't truly a good human there, which it seems like it was here, and definitely Duffield was, that's an AD that you want to go in and be able to meet with whenever and kind of talk with. So
Zach is a great person. Chris Lang up there, she's awesome. Great coaching staff up there. It's fun to compete against those guys, and really truly all of the Metro, Jenks, Union, Broken Arrow, Owasso, Bixby, some of the finest coaches and human beings you've ever been around. Now, are they competitive? Yes. Do they want to win? Yes. And they should. You know,
Yes,
you
they
don't
should.
you don't want to go out and just, oh well, we're just going to relax and do whatever we need to do. You should want to win, but some of the finest human beings around. Zach Duffield is what I would consider one of my closest friends, and a great person. So same thing with Chris Lang. They just an outpouring of support for me, and just great people. So.
Yeah, I think you got it perfect there. You captured it. All right, so let's talk post AD life. I know it's not been very long. You've just kind of let go of the reins and hung up your whistle, if you will.
Yeah.
What do you foresee that looking like, or what's it been like so far?
You know, I'm not really sure. My first day on the job as an AP is going to be July 28th. I'm looking forward to it. I will say that I think the one thing that people will probably say about me, if you didn't know you didn't know me and you asked somebody describe Jason Collier, they would probably tell you, man, the guy's passionate, he's high energy, he's excited. At least that's what I would hope they would say. And I've tried to live that way, and so now I'm even more amped and more excited to try this new role. Gallup Strength Finders says that my strongest strength is competition. And so for me right now, I'm already in that phase of competing to try to be the best assistant principal out there, not just at Broken Arrow, but just be the best assistant principal I can be. And so I'm excited. I'm nervous. I've been certified as a superintendent and a principal for a long time, but stepping into this role is going to be different. But I'm excited for the challenge, and I'm excited to get over there and lead with passion, integrity, honesty, and just get to start building relationships. So, I'm excited. I don't know what it's going to look like. We'll see. I think a lot of it's just going to be relationship building, really, with the students, the athletes, the faculty, the staff, and the administration. So I'm super grateful and thankful to Broken Arrow and Mr. Chuck Perry and Mr. Stephen Dunn and Coach Rusty Stecker and Tony Sappington and Dr. Smith over there at Broken Arrow for entrusting me with this opportunity. And man, I'm looking forward to it. I hope they know that they're fixing to get a passionate dude that's excited and
Sounds like
and ready to go to work, man. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And like I said, I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's going to be fun.
Do you feel like this? Obviously, as an AD, you've got a lot of sporting events: fall, winter, spring sporting events, summer. I'm sure you got some summer sports going on. Is this time that you're excited to get back to the family? Is that kind of how you'll utilize it?
Yeah. So going into this AP role, it's basically what they call a 9/10 month contract, which basically means it's a 9-month contract plus 20 days. So I'll be on the same school calendar as the kids. So when my kids are off of school, I'll be off of school. So
That's nice.
Coming from Jenks, where I was on a 12-month contract, and thankful to be on a 12-month contract, but being there, spring break, people are like, oh, it's spring break, you're off. Well, no, as a 12-month employee, you still have to work spring break, or you got to take vacation or the appropriate leave. Same thing, Christmas break, oh, you got 2 weeks off for Christmas. Well, no, we really don't. We got 3 days off for Christmas and a day off for New Year's Eve or New Year's Eve and New Year's. So you really don't have, unless you take appropriate leave. So with this 9/10 month contract, it definitely affords me the opportunity to be on the same schedule as my kids. And you kind of talked about it a little bit, was not having those nightly events week after week after week, day after day after day. I get to spend more time. My son Brooks, he's going into the 8th grade. Played football all his life and lacrosse, and I can't tell you how many football games or lacrosse games I've had to miss because I've been working an event for my job. And so, yes, definitely excited to be able to do that and not have that responsibility, so I can put some time back in with my family. And that was the majority of the driving decision to go into this role, was just family time. So
I'm going to ask you a question. This one's kind of personal, because I know I've experienced it in the military, and I've noticed it's kind of a phenomenon, is when you give back responsibility. You take the whistle off, you take the hat off, whatever it is. That's hard because now you're at someone else's beck and call. You're doing their vision instead of yours. How do you see that kind of playing out? And I realize that people are listening, but just from your heart, what is that?
So I think a lot of that is handled in the vetting process. When you're vetting, life-changing decisions, much as like what I've been going through, leaving athletics and going into a different administrative role, you want to vet those possible employers and make sure that their leadership vision and mission from the top down aligns with what your vision and mission is. And so if those two align, then typically you're not going to have any of those. Now obviously there's always a difference of personality and those types of things, but typically if the vision and the mission align vertically, you typically won't have those issues or those worries about, oh, did I make the right decision or did I not? So I think Broken Arrow's one of those schools that from the top down, you got Mr. Chuck Perry, the superintendent, who just recently, I think maybe a year or two ago, I can't recall, but they had a soccer coach that was I don't know really what happened, but the soccer coach was no longer there. Chuck Perry steps in as the superintendent and coaches the soccer team and wins the state championship from the superintendent's role. So you got a guy at the top of the business pyramid, if you will, leading by example. I mean, to work for a coach at that level, you got Steve Dunn, who played Division I football, coached Division I football, longtime coach. He's the assistant superintendent. You got Rusty Stecker, who's the head of the HR department. He's the former head men's basketball coach. I mean, all of these coaches and their mission and vision align with you. So I'm excited about it. I've never been a part of a leadership team where it's coach after coach after coach in the hierarchy. So I'm excited about it, and I'm looking for great things. I know that they're going to give me all the tools to be successful and going to allow me to build those relationships and lead, basically lead from the back, if you will. So I'm excited,
Sometimes
man.
you got to pick up stragglers, right?
That's right.
I just want to point out that we're at an athletic directors convention here, summit, if you will, and you are the second or third guest of the day that's talked about vertical alignment. And so it truly is something that we as coaches sometimes, maybe it's because we just need a job, we end up taking a job that we don't really fit, but you got to put food on the table, and it is a little harder for us to think. But also, I don't know that anyone ever taught me vertical alignment in the first 3 or 4 or 5 years of my career. But being able to put yourself, even as an assistant coach, in a position that your coordinator, your head coach, your athletic director, your superintendent are all vertically aligned with what your vision is. Because obviously, brand new coach may not have a vision per se, but he's got to learn one. And so having somebody that's vertically aligned like that everyone's preaching the same message, everybody's rowing the boat in the same direction, I think you said earlier, which is great way to put it. I think that's really neat and possibly something we should pass on to the younger generation that's trying to get here, right? Trying to get where you are, where I am. So that's an excellent point. I want to change gears for a moment. I'm super excited to see what you do over at Broken Arrow. Now that I know you, I'll be on the lookout over there. I got to watch them Tigers go. Mainly the middle school kids.
That's it. Oneta Ridge Middle School. Here we come.
I want to talk about this summit, the Border State Summit, this convention or clinic, if you will. I'll be honest with you, I never heard about it before. I know it's only in its third year, so really, really young. And if it weren't for esports, they basically become title sponsor and have helped spread the message, which is what we're doing here today with a podcast. But kind of talk to me about it. You said earlier, it's not your invention, right? Someone else created this beast, and you're just on the board and trying to help kind of put together. But I've already heard, a military guy I've been hearing, we always think about AARs, after action reviews, and that's, we do a thing, how can we do it better? What do we need to sustain, right? And it sounds like you guys are actually doing that, which is amazing because you've already added things. I hear a golf tournament took place as a part of this because everyone was showing up to play golf anyway. And you kind of can guarantee a little more participation if they were already here on Monday night. So just talk to me about this thing, where it is, and what it looks like moving forward.
Well, so, about 3.5 years ago, possibly 4 years ago, Wayne Stellick, Coach Stellick, was assistant coach for Nolan Richardson for the Arkansas Razorbacks, won a national championship with Corliss Williamson and those guys back in, I believe, like 94. Hog fans would have to correct me on that, but I think range. And Coach Stellick was a longtime athletic administrator for Springdale Public Schools. Dion Burks from Lincoln, Arkansas, Lincoln Consolidated Schools in Arkansas. Those guys got together at the Arkansas, the AAA show that they do, their Arkansas Athletic Directors Conference down in Hot Springs, and kind of had a, harebrained scheme, if you will, to create a multi-state athletic directors conference directed at professional development. And those guys started putting pen to paper, or actually pen to napkin, and Coach Stellick even has the napkin still.
Yeah, a good origin story is always great, and sitting through that this morning, and he's like, I still have the napkin. That's a pretty good origin story.
Yeah. So they kind of got together. At the time, they had Dr. Dustin Smith was in charge of running their athletic directors conference in Arkansas from Greenwood at the time. He had me come over to Arkansas to teach some LTC courses, as well as do a breakout session or two. And so I was over there, got to meet Coach Stellick and Dion and those guys, and we kind of hit it off. But we just talked about, what I was doing in Oklahoma, because I had started with our OIAAA board, the Oklahoma Athletic Directors Conference. And so ours was through its infancy. We were in about year 4 when the border states conversation came up with Wayne and those guys. And so they kind of started picking my brain about, what should it look like? How should the vendor hall be laid out? Some of those types of things. And so I invited those guys over to the Oklahoma Athletic Directors Conference, and they kind of got to see the behind the scenes, how everything works. And so they brought me on to try to help with that aspect of it. But it was Dion and Norm Mitchell, who was the athletic director at Gravit at the time, and Dion and Wayne and Norm's idea to do this, and then they brought me on after the fact to try to just kind of help, because I'd already kind of been there and done
Everybody
that.
needs a consultant, right?
Yeah. And so
don't know, hire a professional.
Yeah. So I come on and we started this deal. I would say that this is probably the most unique athletic directors conference in the nation, because it's the only one that involves multiple states outside of the National Athletic Directors Conference, which the National Athletic Directors Conference, as you know, encompasses not only the schools within the United States, but also the schools around the world. I mean, they've got people at Budapest and people in Lima, Peru, and Hong Kong. And so this vision was just hatched from, hey, we're going to do this 4-state athletic director deal and kind of get these 4 states together. And it's been great, because it's a great sharing of ideas, because being regionally located with each other, we kind of all see what the other states do when it comes to dealing with NIL deals, or how do you deal with homeschool kids who want to participate in public schools, or so we're able to pick each other's brains across state lines, and see, what does Arkansas do, what does Kansas do, what does Missouri do, what does Oklahoma do, and kind of hone some of those best practices. So that's kind of how it started. We're in our infancy. You talked about those AARs. At the end of every summit, our board gets together. As soon as it closes tomorrow, we'll have a meeting, and we'll just sit down and we'll go, okay, what went well? What do we need to adjust? What do we need to delete? What do we need to add? You'd mentioned it. We had a couple ladies last year talk about they were coming down early to play golf, and we thought, what a great idea if we offered it up to all of the athletic directors and let them play for free, provide an opportunity. So we were able to get a sponsor for the golf tournament, and so the athletic directors that came in early, they got to play for free and played a beautiful Eagles Nest golf course over here. Great golf facility. But all of this really transpired truly from Asst Sports and their sponsorship, because Ryan Hughes over there at Ace Sports, he kind of helped me in a different role when he was with Excite Fundraising. He helped me launch the Oklahoma Athletic Directors Conference. And so I had a lot of confidence in Ryan. And as soon as those guys, Wayne and Dion and Norm and Doug Kilgore, said that they were going to do this, I knew we needed a big sponsor, because you can't put on a conference of this magnitude without funding. And so, this is probably the least expensive athletic directors conference I've ever been to. It's only $50 for an athletic director to register and attend. We give a conference gift that's worth more than $50, so we're losing money. And
right.
to be honest with you, a lot of the athletic directors, we offer BOGOs, buy one get one. So if they register for $50, they can bring a friend for free. So that then in turn turns out to be a $25 registration. You're not going to get the national level presenters and speakers that we have here for $25.
Yeah.
So we've got a great board. Doug Kilgore, NIAAA Hall of Fame member. Was a National Athletic Director Conference secretary, bigwig. Everybody knows him as the bow tie AD. He has national recognition and national clout with speakers and presenters from across the United States. Just a prime example of that is at our conference this year. We've got speakers from Atlanta, Georgia. We got speakers from Southern California. We got speakers from South Carolina. We got speakers from Florida. So as well as local speakers as well. But just to be able to bring in that national level content and for $25 is a steal. So
yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
You talked about earlier about the states being able to kind of collaborate and figure out. I know, because I work with Kenny Simpson over in Arkansas, that our rules are fairly different, especially in the summertime, right? His ability to travel and move around with his team during the summer. Is there a lot of the presenters today were, I don't say motivational, but they're like, guys that are very successful that are sharing their message. Do any of the speakers, have you ever just used like the state representative and said, we're going to talk about rules, we're going to talk about why we do things a certain way, and let people almost Q&A format and see if we can't universalize some of these rules a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. We have a roundtable discussion, and we typically pick athletic directors from each state or athletic leaders. And I think they're actually doing the roundtable discussion right now.
Okay.
And they do. How does Arkansas handle NIL? How does Oklahoma handle NIL? How does Missouri handle NIL? How does Kansas handle NIL? Nick Lasker from the AAA, Arkansas Activities Association, he's here, he's in attendance. And so I imagine they're probably picking his brain, hey, can you get in here and help us, what's on the horizon for Arkansas high school athletics? And I will say that, what Arkansas does, they typically jump out and jump in the water with both feet, and then Oklahoma's not too far behind doing the same thing. So it's kind of funny to see the I don't know how you'd describe it, but to see the formation of how things go between our states. Arkansas and Oklahoma are pretty much joined at the hip outside of the summer opportunities with coaches and contact with kids and time spent and things like that. It's pretty cool to see, when Arkansas does something, we're following suit, and if we're doing something, Arkansas is following suit. So it's kind of nice to commiserate with your compadres from across the state lines.
For sure.
So
I live over in Jay, Oklahoma, so I'm 12 miles from, so I work with a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
Bo Collins is a very good friend of mine that I've coached with, and lots of them over there. Yeah. So good people over in Arkansas.
Yep.
So
well, you're pretty close to Bo Bergen up there at McDonald County too, in Missouri.
There you go.
So he's right there too. So
I'll have to get to know him.
Yeah.
I don't know him now, but now I'll have to reach out to him.
Great dude, great leader. just great leader of man. So good dude. So you need to get to meet him. We'll try to introduce you here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I will. I told you I wouldn't keep too long. We're right at 30 minutes. I said
Okay.
15 to 30, and we're on it. So I'll kind of we'll close out here.
Okay.
Appreciate you coming on today to the show. Good luck in not having to handle all the athletic stuff for a little while. You'll still be going to the games, it sounds like, though, with your son playing.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully just be a
congratulations
fan.
on a great career and enjoy the time with your kids. I think that's what we're all trying to get back to at some point. So
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me. And like I said, I'm excited. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Got to live today, but I'm ready for tomorrow.
There we go.
Already.
Perfect.
So,
appreciate it.
you bet.
Guys, if you haven't already, go to asports.com and look at some of the video boards there. Contact Ryan Hughes, ryan.hughes@asports.com. That's HUGHES, or mark.bridges@asports.com. Those are the two guys in the local area. If anywhere in the United States, those guys can hook you up and get you to the representative around you, or be your representative. If you're completely lost on what to do there, just DM Daniel Chamberlain on Twitter, and I'll handle it and get you where you need to go. Thank you guys so much. I think we got one more coming here, just a few minutes, and then we'll be done for the day. We are just about to sign off here from the Border State Summit. Sorry. All right, we'll talk to y'all soon.